Future Jam.
Welcome to the Future Jam, a tech news podcast for enthusiasts and casual listeners alike. I'm Mike, and once again, I'm joined with my good buddy, Alex.
Let's start the jam.
Alex, it's the end of summer. I actually thought summer ended already.
No,
but that's not the case. So somebody told me that summer is still going, and
yeah,
who am I to believe? What am I supposed to believe?
I believe you believe would do the Fall Solstice, which is usually the 21st or the 22nd. Like the solstice aren't everybody thinks it's July, June, the beginning of June to the end of August, but it's really summer starts June 21st or 22nd and goes to September 21st, 22nd. Then fall goes from September 21st to December 21st, and then winter is the next 3 months.
Gee, I didn't realize you went to college to be a seasonalist. Is that what they call them, or what?
No, they were based off I know a lot of the old pagan holidays revolve around the winter and summer solstice. So that would be I think the 22nd or 21st is the longest day of the year in June, and then the winter solstice is the shortest in December.
Well, all that went in one ear and out the other. I think that's why we need holidays. We need to know when summer ends. I say Labor Day because that's when all the fireworks go off. That's the end of summer to me, but they need to change it up, I think.
Well, you do mark the end of every season with a fireworks display.
Yeah, who doesn't? It's appropriate.
I love your end of fall fireworks display.
Yeah, it's very lots of fire hazards with the end of fall, all the dry leaves and brush. But I still go hard with my fireworks display.
Then when is your fall?
I feel like fall begins in that start of October. I guess mentally that's what I think. But then again, there's Labor Day, and that seems like end of summer. So there's this weird interstitial area that's neither fall or summer.
So September is a transitional month for you?
Yeah, I think there should be called a transitional time. It's not fall, it's not summer, it's just in transition. What should we? What?
It's autumn.
Okay, I thought you were going to smartly combine summer and fall into one fun word. But obviously, you're just not prepared for that.
When's your fall? October to what?
I feel like October, fall ends after Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, that's the last holiday.
And then when's your winter?
Winter is beginning in Christmas. So there's that other interstitial period where at the end of Thanksgiving to Christmas, there's this random spot that nobody can place.
Then when's your winter end?
Winter ends, That one I have to think over. I don't know. We're digging way deeper into this than I ever thought we would.
If you're basing it off holidays, probably right when the transition from where it starts to get a little bit warmer, probably would be St. Patrick's Day.
I was gonna say Easter maybe, but
Easter moves.
That
moves all the time.
I know. That's again, I'm against holidays that move as well. You know this as well. I think all holidays should be on a date, the same date every year.
So what do you think about those dicks that want to Halloween should just be the last Friday in fall?
Well, I'm just going to contradict myself right off the bat and say Halloween's one of those holidays that I don't care. It should just be on a Friday so kids can have fun and sleep in the next day.
No, well, the next day should be a federal holiday, but it should always be on the 31st. You'd be like, oh, it's Halloween. It's on the 26th. It's not as scary. The 31st is scary,
How is
Mike.
The 31st day scarier than a 22nd day?
Oh, it's 100 times scarier.
No, none of these days are even scary, remotely scary. It's what you do with the day that could make it scary.
Yeah, the 31st is the scariest day of the year. October 31st.
All right, yeah.
All Hallows Eve.
Let's agree to disagree and jump right into the dumb tech.
No,
we got a short week for you guys.
No, put up a Twitter poll.
We're not pulling up a Twitter poll. I don't post on Twitter.
Yeah, well, we're putting up a Twitter poll. What is the scariest date in October for Halloween? Or something like that. Or should Halloween just always be on the 31st? Because it should.
All right. Yeah, I will vote in this. Don't care.
No,
so
people are yelling.
Jump right into
people are yelling at their phones right now. Yeah, get in your stupid.
I don't care.
Dumb
They can
week.
yell at their phones all they want. None of this matters. But anyways, Dumb tech of the week time.
Yeah, go do whatever you want. I don't care.
Oh, man. Alex is pissed. All right. First one up is OpenSea admits insider trading on NFTs on its site. That it promotes NFTs. It's like a site that sells NFTs, and they have like a front page that promotes them. Go listen to our old episode that talked about NFTs. How do you explain NFTs in a short sentence? There's like no way to explain what an NFT is. That's like succinct.
It's a digital piece of art that is like encrypted, that you own that piece of art digitally.
That's tied to a cryptocurrency. So like you got this, you got this piece of art that's supposed to be yours and yours only, but we've already debunked a lot of that stuff. But anyways, people that work for this site, OpenSea, I'm not sure. I think it's OpenSea.io. They somehow can see what's going on the front page ahead of time. And some people on Twitter tracked this and found out that somebody who works for the company was buying up NFTs before they hit the front page and then selling them for profit once they hit the front page. This would be called insider trading if this was stock, but this is not a. There's nobody regulating this, so people could do whatever they want.
Yeah, there's no rules against it right now. Yeah, so somebody figured out. Then the guy who they call it is like the head of product. So people are looking at like OpenSea is like they're the ones that are like kind of like this is going to be like the next big thing. So they showed like 5 minutes beforehand, this guy before it went live on like the front page buying it, and then 20 minutes after it was released, selling it for like 5 times what he bought it for. So like he using like the website to bump up the price, because that's what's going to happen. OpenSea's like, oh, this thing is going to be like the next big thing to sell. Yeah. And then if so many people are buying it, it's going to pump up the price, and he's buying it for the cheapest possible price.
Yeah, anytime an NFT hits the front page, then it usually the value of it skyrockets. So he knows that, and so this person did this to make a quick buck. But what he didn't realize was, or he probably knew this but didn't think people would actually put in the time to research this, but anything you do on the Ethereum blockchain network is like it's a public ledger, so people can track like what you do as far as like transaction wise. So they saw that this guy, this user, bought an item for this much Ethereum and then sold it 20 minutes later for a higher cost.
Yeah.
And somehow they knew the guy worked for the company. And this has all been verified by the CEO of OpenSea. So obviously they say they're going to squash this and put an end to this type of thing. But it's probably not a good thing to do. It's kind of like hurt your customer base a little bit, I would think.
Yeah. Especially, like, I don't get the website itself. Like, I mean, it's just selling, like, people's art for, like, the NFTs. Like, they're promoting it. I mean, I've gone on record that said I don't get NFTs. I think they're stupid. I think they're a waste of environmental power. And it's just people collecting stuff to hopefully make more money in the long run. It's like a new investment tool.
Yeah.
But, like, you're basing your think that this art's going to be worth something based off this like website. Like, it's not really like based off anything. It's just somebody decided like, oh, this artist is big, we sell some of his NFTs, we'll put on the front page.
Well, that's the problem with all of this, is it's all artificially inflated values. So that's why I think I just not into anything blockchain wise or Bitcoin, because it's all like based off of people's like value they put on it, but there's no real intrinsic value to any of this stuff.
Yeah, like I just don't see the resale value eventually down the line, because like this stuff doesn't go away. I know you can like lose your like the block, like your codes and all to get in your account, but like it just stays there. Part of art, why it's so much money, is like there's one of these paintings. But if you have like a lot of times they make multiple copies of these NFTs and sell different copies, so you're buying like one of 500.
Yeah, and I also feel like these people like don't sit on it for very long. They get it and wait for the price to go up and just sell it. So it's kind of like making quick bucks. I don't know how long you'd want to sit on an NFT, because a year from now, NFTs could be no value at all. Who even wants an NFT 5 years down the road? Nobody knows.
And if the whole system goes down and without electricity, you have nothing.
Well, I mean, we're in a way darker place if that happens than worrying about an NFT. So
not if I put all my money in NFTs.
No, don't do it. So next one up is DoorDash is going to offer alcohol delivery to 20 states, District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., Canada, and Australia. So that's a pretty big customer base of like close to 100 million people that could get a delivery of alcohol to their house. Why'd you put this in? I was curious. Why'd you put this in Dumb Tech of the Week?
I just think it's a bad idea.
How?
For us also, like, I'm kind of anti getting my groceries delivered. I don't know why, but like, I just, like, I don't know, people like, just sit at home and get my beer delivered to me now.
Well, I don't exactly think it's exactly that. I mean, it's not just beer. Like, if you want to pair a beer with your meal, like a restaurant couldn't before sell you the beer with the meal, but now they can sell the beer with the meal. And I think probably restaurants are pushing for this because they know beer is like their high profit item, so they can sell you a can of beer with your meal and make a huge profit.
Well, a lot of places you could get to-go alcohol.
But that's like a local municipality ruling. I know locally here, if you go to a restaurant or bar, they let people take like to-go containers of like beer. But I don't know if they allow delivery yet. Well, there's like some third-party companies that offer alcohol delivery, but this is the first time like a big service like this has offered it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not something I would do, but I could see it being convenient if you wanted to try new beer with your meal, or like if you wanted to get some more beer for a party and you didn't want to drink and drive to go get it.
Yeah, I can see, because they said they want to have like verification stuff. I can see being very easily get underage like alcohol.
Well, now you're sounding like a parent.
I just think it's going to be super easy. Like, I don't know. We're going to have multiple verification processes in it. And they won't.
I mean, if kids are going to get alcohol, they're going to get alcohol. And plus, the legal drinking age is too high anyways. I think we put too much of like a stigma on it. And that's because like a lot of countries, I've read research where a lot of countries that have like a lower drinking age, it's more commonplace and people just don't go crazy with it. Whereas here, since it's so like, no, you can't have it till you're 21, people just go crazy with it because it's like withheld from them. So I don't know. That's a separate topic altogether. So
what do you think they should move it down to? 5?
Yes, 5. So yeah, definitely. I think that's all the dumb tech. You still didn't really explain why this is dumb, but
we've talked about this before. I'm just also one that I'd rather just go pick up my own food instead of having it delivered. Not big on delivery.
You ready for the tech news bites?
Yep.
Tech news bites.
All right, we just have a couple this week, so let me jump right into them. First one up is Michigan State Police are beginning to test Ford Mach-E's as interceptor vehicles. These are actually pretty cool vehicles. They're kind of like competing with the Model Y. They're not really a Mustang. I think this is the biggest thing people always got mad about is they're not visually a Mustang.
Yeah, they're more like I want to say, they say it's an SUV. I want to say it's more like a crossover, it looks like. Kind of like, that's how I kind of saw them as. I don't think they're like as big of an SUV, but I think they're kind of like that. I want to say a Rogue, like a Nissan Rogue size, it looks like to me.
They're pretty big. I was actually in my parking garage, and there was one just sitting on the wall, like not in a parking spot, mind you, but it had a power cord dangling from the top of the wall down to it, and it was charging right there all day long charging. So I'm not sure if it was some rich dude that forgot to charge it at home or what, but these are like $50,000 like starting, I believe. But they got really good reviews. I think they're really nice cars, but basically what they do is they modify them to make them like police worthy. Like they add like better suspension, brakes, and horsepower and stuff. So Ann Arbor, Michigan's getting 2 of them just to test out to see how they work. But all these municipalities are trying to go green, and this is like their idea of going green. I think there's been Teslas that have been police cars as well at one point or another.
I think so. And Ford is smart trying to get into this market because, I mean, the more availability you have your car out there and you're selling more of them, the more you're going to push it. And like they're going really hard into the trying to get in the police forces throughout the world.
I think it kind of adds like a little bit intimidation factor and street credit to it, because remember when the Dodge Chargers came out as police cars, that made those cars infinitely more cool. All right, next one up is another electric car story. We got two stacked here. Lucid Air is the first electric vehicle with a 520-mile EPA-rated range. That's crazy. I didn't think we'd ever get to the point where we'd have a 540-mile range car. This is actually, Lucid was a company that was founded by the guy who designed the Tesla Model S. I think he had some bad blood with the company, left and made his own company, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. For the price tag, it better go 520 miles.
What is it, like 169,000 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But when he left, he swore he was going to build a vehicle that would beat the Tesla on range, speed, and price. And this is definitely more expensive, but I think they have other models that will compete in the price range.
Well, yeah, the base model is going to be $77,000, which is still way high above my price range for a car. I was actually thinking about that because this is, what is the cheapest electric car?
Well, there's electric cars that are in like the low 20,000s. I think there's like the Nissan Leaf.
Besides those like smaller, crappier cars, like because like the Leaf and like the Fiat one, they're so small.
Well, there's the Hyundai Kona, which is pretty nice. It's like a small SUV. I think that starts at around 33,000. That's actually a pretty good electric vehicle too.
Okay, because I was about to say, like, if they really want to go like all electric, you see like some states by like 2030, the price is gonna have to come down on these cars.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's the case. And Hyundai has a couple different ones out there that are pretty competitive. There's the Chevy Volt, I think.
Yeah, the Volt. That's not a bad car.
But you're right. All these crazy mile-busting vehicles are all luxury cars that only rich people would have. But I still think it's really cool to see these vehicles on the road, even though I doubt anybody's really going to use that 540-mile range. How often does a really rich person drive 540 miles? If they're driving that far, they're going to fly a plane, fly their private jet or something like that.
That's how long my driveway is to get to my house.
All right, let's just jump on to the next one. Next one up is Alphabet's Project Taara. And this is a beaming high-speed internet type of... It's hard to explain. So do you remember Project Loon?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah, it was like balloons up in the sky that beamed internet through light. And I guess this didn't work out.
Well, they were kind of trying to use it for like disaster reliefs and things like that. They can get internet and all up and running pretty quick. But the thing that did work for it was wireless optical link. So like actually sending like links to produce internet in these areas actually worked, but the balloon idea didn't. Yeah,
they're testing this out in the Congo. There are two cities, Brazzaville and Kinshasa. I can't even pronounce that.
I conveniently did not write down the names because
you're smart.
Try to say
you're a smarter man than I. But I guess it's really hard to get internet to Kinshasa. And I guess they'd have to run... The Congo River, I hear, is really deep, and it's hard to run wires underneath, so you'd have to run wires around it somehow. And to do this would be really, really costly. So Google is testing out this device. Over 20 days, 99.9% availability of internet, and over 700 terabytes of data.
Yeah, so how it works is pretty much just beaming internet to another pillar.
Yeah,
so
it's light. It's a beam of light.
You know, they said the only downfall is like places that are foggy.
Yeah, this would not work in London.
Yeah, so like the technology works when all the conditions are good, which I think it's really a good idea. I think this could be part of a future for like areas that are like kind of in the middle of nowhere, like deserty areas. I can see using this. But they're also trying to figure out like what are good locations for this. But I can see this.
They have like some artificial intelligence software they developed to find the best locations to put these beams. But it'll, I guess, reduce the cost of internet for like people in rural areas or like countries that are up and coming.
And that's what you're seeing with Starlink and all these companies trying to figure a more cost-effective way to get internet to other people. This is I don't see like this working in like the long run for Google, but I can see them using it again, like in like emergency situations, like natural disasters. If they need to get like internet places, they can set these up for like a little bit of times and then take them down.
Yeah, I don't know like how many they can have going and how much like traffic it could support. And obviously, if it's a foggy day or a rainy day, it's not going to work. But I think it's a good idea on paper. But the thing is, if the service keeps going out like all the time, I think they're going to lose a lot of customers, or people are just going to like not support it. So,
well, I don't see it being a cornerstone of internet connectivity in the future. I think it's going to be in like far off places, like remote places, or like I can see like if you have like a compound, I don't know, like say like a compound, but like if you're like
drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. But like if you're in like the desert or something like that and they want to get internet a place instead of
all these people living in the desert.
I don't know. You always see like these like horror movies or like alien invasion movies, and there's like some small like research place out in the middle of nowhere. Like I can see it being used for like that, for like research places in the middle of nowhere to get internet connect.
So this is how they alerted the world that there was a thing loose in the movie The Thing.
Yeah.
So
if they had it, they would have easily beat the thing.
Exactly. You ready to jump on to the next one?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Hyundai puts Boston Dynamics Spot robot to work as a factory safety inspector. We talked about this one. This is the one that flips, and it's 4-legged robot. It's pretty awesome.
They turned this robot into a snitch. That's all.
You feel like it's just going to be telling on workers?
Yeah, this walks around. Supposedly it's for like safety, and then they can see like they put like a pack on the back of it. So, like, that has, like, a bunch of cameras and sensors. They can see a whole bunch of stuff. And then they can use the AI processing to see if it's a secure unit, monitor temperatures, check for fire hazards. And then it will send everything back to, like, a web page that, like, a factory personnel can review. And if they need to, they can take over the robot and move it around.
No, that's what I'm going to be doing. So, I'm going to get a job at this company and just walk this guy around, get in the camera, and just walk Spot around, spying on people, kind of like trying to scare them. No, this is mainly going to be used, I think, third shift or like when there's less people in the factory, just for now, just to test them out. There was another story I didn't put on here, but this Spot robot, they also developed some new AI for it so it can sense when things are in its way better. And it can go around or over top or, so these are getting smarter, and I think they're going to be useful tools.
Yeah, always watching us.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. There's like something dangerous that happens in the factory. Something falls over, something electrical fire or something. You send in Spot. You don't want to send, well, I guess in the past they just send in the least valuable employee, send him in to check it out, but now they can send in Spot.
It's like the robot lassie. Go get help, boy. Go.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's that? Timmy's trapped on the machine. Let's go.
Well, I mean, you send Spot to go get help, and obviously it'd run out of batteries or get stuck on something. So that would, be at the end of it. So that's all I have for Tech News Bytes. But we have one more section, and this is the sad section of the show. We like to call it Tech RIP.
Yeah.
And, there's two items. We don't really have a lot of Tech RIP all the time, but this is extra sad week. First one up is Microsoft is killing passwords. They're just getting rid of them. They say people are dumb and use terrible passwords like password 1. People just use all sorts of wacky passwords.
Hats off.
Yeah. So Microsoft said that's just too insecure. We're going to use the two-factor login process, which is you can get a text message to help you log in. You can use the Authenticator app to log in, your fingerprint, your face.
I think this is just the future. I think everything's going to go there.
It makes sense. Like, who wants to remember passwords upon passwords? It's just stupid.
That's all. Yeah, it is just annoying because, like, especially like your phone now, like you can all pre-fill your passwords and then you just use your finger recognition, like on my Samsung, and it would like log me in. So I can just see that happening, but I think it's just a matter of time. I think Yahoo does that. I don't think I have to actually like put in a password for my Yahoo account.
There's a lot of sites that are doing this now that they have a password, but you can log in with biometrics. But this is like a step further where you don't have a fallback password. You have just biometrics or like these other methods, or you can make a PIN code, which that's not, ideal, I don't think, but just think of a world where you lose your phone, you can't get into anything.
Yeah, they said they have like a backup in case you lose your phone or get like a new phone.
Yeah, there's like fallback. There's lots of different fallbacks, like you send it to another email or all sorts of things you could jump through. But they're just trying to make it simpler, less passwords to remember. And they claim it's more secure, and I think they're probably right.
They said then they used it for Microsoft employees, right?
Yeah, they use it for that. I think it's already available to consumers, and then they're pushing it to businesses as well.
Yeah, I think it's just the wave of the future. It's going to be more secure. And if you don't have to remember a password, because password requirements are getting ridiculous.
I agree. Passwords are just a thing of the past. Remember Amazon's palm reading machine?
Yeah.
That's where we're going. Read my palm.
I can tell you the future.
Exactly. So we got one final one on here, and this is something you added, and I think you're pretty sad about it.
I am sad, because McDonald's is like the only fast food chain left that has cool Happy Meal toys or Kids Meals toys. But McDonald's is saying by 2025 they're going to reduce plastics in all their toys and move to like cardboard toys or recycled toy pieces and stuff like that. It's a sad day, Mike.
Sounds boring.
No, I don't know, like the new kids meal toys are just like awful. Arby's is the worst. Wendy's is all about like do this creative stuff and it's all like super cheap. That seems like they're using it as a way like, oh, we're going environmental, but this seems like cheap. Like they're
cost cutting.
Yeah, it's cost cutting, but they're using it as a way to go.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, McDonald's was like the world's largest manufacturer of toys.
They said they sell 1 billion toys a year.
Or maybe I'm wrong on that, but they sell a whole crap ton of toys. And it all ends up in a landfill. That's the thing, and it pretty much all ends up in a landfill.
I mean, I have every one I've ever had.
I highly doubt that.
I had a couple that we played with more than others. But like McDonald's had some cool ones recently. They had like these Hasbro games to go. Like a small, like Hungry Hippos that was kind of fun, and the Game of Life.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure they're not going to get rid of Pokemon cards because those are always really popular. So those aren't plastic, and they'll keep those around most likely. And maybe they'll bring back the Beanie Babies again. Those are always a hit.
They said like soft toys they will have. I think they do it already in Ireland and the UK. But I don't know. Right now they're doing the Disney World 50th toy collection.
So, well, I mean, yeah, maybe they should just get rid of toys altogether because they shouldn't have a thing to bribe kids to eat bad food.
Kids are going to get that food anyway. No kid is like...
Look at me trying to be like all like, oh, I don't eat fast food at all.
Well, it's like, like, oh, my kid wanted the Happy Meal because of the toy and we had to get McDonald's. You didn't have to get McDonald's. You also wanted McDonald's.
Exactly.
And then you complain like your kid wanted to have, like, they don't even eat the food. My kids mostly eat all the food.
Yeah. So what's funny is they actually, when I worked there in high school, they trained us to treat kids with like the most utmost respect. Like if they ordered a Happy Meal, I was supposed to like hand it to the kid directly and not to the parent, because they were trying to build this excitement in the kid so they wanted to come back. And they knew that that's where a lot of their customer base came from, is their kids excited to go would come back. I'm curious if that's still the case, like if kids are still the big driver.
My son like never says he wants McDonald's, but he does love, like, when we get it, carrying in his like Happy Meal box. He loves carrying it himself because it is easy for them to carry, and he can open it up and take the stuff out.
I think I liked the food when I was a kid, but the thing I remember most is probably the ice cream cones and the play place.
Well, they don't come in the play place doesn't fit in the Happy Meal box, Mike. You don't take that home with you.
Well, it's mostly plastic though.
A couple places still have the play place.
It's, in retrospect, it always smelled nasty, and I don't know if I had kids now, if I would bring them to the play place or not.
Pre-pandemic, I took my kid there. He had fun.
Yeah, I guess kids are going to catch what they're going to catch, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to school. If your kid's going to school, it's going around school no matter what, so.
Yeah.
You're going to get sick. I don't know, it's just kind of sad. Like, because McDonald's all had to change when, like, the whole Supersize Me came out.
Yeah, that was a whole nother thing, but.
And then they always try these new fancy sandwiches that all suck. Just stick with what you know. Quarter Pounders and Big Macs.
I think they definitely need to redo their whole menu. I can't even eat there anymore. It's just not like it used to be. I don't know if my taste buds have changed or if it's just gone downhill.
They have the only good chicken sandwich they have is the McChicken, and it's super cheap. All like the fancy chicken sandwiches are just like awful. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, they're always dry or cold, or they just can't ever get it right. So, all right, that's the Future Jam for this week. You can find us at the Future Jam on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you remind me, Alex, I'll post that Twitter poll.
Damn right you will.
Yeah, you got to hold me at gunpoint on that. So, all right, we'll catch you next week. This is a short week. I'm sure we'll have some more news stories next week. So.
Yeah, we're just recording earlier in the week than normal, so...
Well, don't tell them our secrets, Alex. Don't tell them our secrets.
The people like to see behind the curtain.
All right, yeah. We do have a thick, thick curtain that we never, ever pull back, but, I think it's time to reveal it all.
Yeah, don't reveal yourself to me.
Okay. I always record behind a curtain. Alex actually never even has seen me.
Let's get the soothing sound of your sexy voice.
Well, yeah. So that's fantastic. I'll talk to you later, man.
Bye.